Hi, ciao, and welcome to everyone to a new exciting episode of Conosciamo i nostri partner, Get to Know Our Partners, Bimbi Italiani's interview series where we spotlight outstanding schools, professionals, and organizations supporting families and children across culture. And of course, that are all part of our wonderful network of global partners. Today, we are so delighted to introduce St. Andrews International School in Sathorn. That is a well-established British international primary school located in the heart of the capital city of Thailand. Just before we get going, just a quick overview of St. Andrew International School Sathorn, which has over 20 years of history, and it offers a balanced British curriculum for children from the age of 2 to 11 within a nurturing, community-based environment that places strong emphasis on academic excellence, well-being, and the development of positive attitudes towards learning. And I'm also happy to say that even my daughter goes to St. Andrew International School Sathorn, and as a parent myself, I am so glad with the choice we made. Also, just a quick reminder, St. Andrews Sathorn is part of the Cognitive Global Network, which is an international global network of schools that connects over 100 schools worldwide and supports over 85,000 children across the globe. We're especially pleased today to welcome Miss Helen Coleman, the head of school. Hi, Helen, how are you?
Hi. Good, thank you. Good, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Happy and glad to have you here. And today, Miss Helen, you will share with us more about your school educational approach, your vibrant community, and also how it supports young learners in their early development. Just a quick reminder that St. Andrew is a member of Bimbi Italiani, so there is an application fee waiver of almost $200 when applying at the moment before December 2026. But let's start getting to know each other, Helen.
Sure.
I just call you
Sure.
Helen.
Thank you.
So again, thank you so much for joining us. But tell us a little bit more about your journey in education and your role as the head of school at St. Andrews International. What brought you to teaching, to Thailand, and to its community of educators?
Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity, Eleanor. My journey in education began in the UK, where I trained in the UK, and I spent quite a few years teaching in the UK, which I really, really enjoyed. And actually, whilst I was there, the first few years of teaching are always quite hard, I think, for everybody moving into the profession. But I really got a sense of love for education and love for working with children. You get so much reward from being in this position. It's such a position of privilege. So to grow my career, actually, I went on holiday and I had a cousin who worked abroad a lot, and I actually hadn't thought of working abroad, and he just looked at me over dinner one night and went, Helen, you can go anywhere. And Thailand happened to be the place that I ended up. I'd never been to Thailand before, but I was ready for a new adventure. So that's what I did. And as soon as I arrived in Thailand, I think like most people that come here, you fall in love with it. You fall in love with the culture, you fall in love with the people. And I was really lucky that I ended up coming to St. Andrews Sathorn, and I've stayed here now for 16 years. I've not moved to a different school because I genuinely love the community of St. Andrews Sathorn. The people are wonderful, the parents are wonderful. It's such a great body of students. We actually, me and my friends, when I came, we would say it's like a cultural melting pot. And you learn so much from being with other cultures. You learn a lot about your own behaviors, and you learn a lot about other people, and you learn how to be empathetic and understanding. And that's part of the beauty of this school. And that's certainly what I fell in love with. And I've just been really lucky that my career's progressed the way it has. I've done quite a lot of study outside of school. So I did a master's when I arrived here. And then I did my MPQH. And obviously I had great leaders around me who were mentors and who helped me along the way. And that's how I've ended up being the head of school. And definitely my focus here is on making sure that everybody in the school feels seen and they feel heard, they feel that like they belong in the school. Because I think belongings are key for children to be able to thrive and to be able to learn to the best of their capacity. And I like to do that with humbleness. I think we're quite a humble school. I like to think that I take the responsibility very seriously. And I like to lead with kindness where I can.
And
That's a
this
little
is
bit about my journey.
And this is amazing because one thing that I also noticed myself as a parent that sends her child to St. Andrew is that similar to you, also many of the teachers that are in St. Andrews, they have been there for a long time, which tells a lot about retention over time of educators wanting to stay in the same place. You mentioned a bit about community. Let's speak a bit more about community experience history, because St. Andrews Sathorn has built a strong reputation over the past 20 years. So how would you, Helen, describe the school's core values and what makes it unique within the international school landscape in Bangkok, but also globally, because you're also part of a global network?
Sure, I will do my best to answer that question. I think the core values are the ones that I've just mentioned. I think responsibility, humility, and kindness are definitely at the core of St. Andrews. They're genuinely how we try to shape the education for the children. We definitely develop a lot of empathy, as I said. We feel like we're a melting pot where people learn about each other and they learn acceptance and kindness through that. In terms of the landscape in Bangkok, I think we're really down to earth and we've got a really nurturing approach to education. The children come in and they feel safe here, they feel relaxed here. Other schools obviously have that nurturing feel as well, but I think the size of our school, the heritage building that we're in, the setting that the children are in really lend to them feeling relaxed and at home here so that they can really thrive. There is a sense here that we certainly, and the people that join, generally say that we are more than just a school because it is a place where parents will meet. It's an open door policy. So there's always parents and other members of the community within the school. Creating that feeling of belonging and everybody being welcome is a real key. We do have really high academic expectations, although the holistic approach is certainly the way that we want to, the direction that we're moving in with the children, and that's a huge part of what we do. But if we look after those areas of learning, if we look after the whole child, then they thrive academically as well. And we're very lucky with the size of the school that most teachers know all the children's names. The children get to know each other across year groups, and the teachers are really good at pinpointing the challenge for the children to make sure that academically they can progress. I feel like I might have, sorry, Eleanor, maybe stop it there. I think I've gone off on a tangent and not answered the question.
No, it's actually perfect because you mentioned also two various areas that are very interesting, which is this academic approach on one end, but not in solo. It's really a holistic approach. And I want to talk a little bit more around this and how it's then grounded within the British curriculum that then you bring forward for children that are aged 2 to 11, so on a focus on primary age school children. So how do your approach in learning in the early years and primary stages supports both the academic excellence and personal development of children within their lifelong journey.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So we do follow the British curriculum. It has really high academic standards at the end of each key stage and throughout the years. So it means that you're aiming high for all children in the class. But what the teachers do is, one, within the curriculum, they make it inspirational. They tweak it so that it's got an international twist. So we'll tweak topics, and we have a lot of freedom to make sure that the learning is relevant for the children. And they also know the children really well, so they can pinpoint where the child's area of challenge is, or where the challenge zone is for that child in every subject, and make sure that the learning that they give to the children, although they might all be learning the same thing, they'll make sure that it's adapted so that every child's at the right level of challenge and therefore making progress. So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach to education. It's making sure that everybody's aiming towards the same goal, but they've got what they need to achieve it, because we all need different things in different areas. Certainly in the early years, we're a play-based education. We develop skills of curiosity in the children, independence in the children, and then the teachers facilitate the learning from there. So the teachers are very skilled at watching and observing what children are doing, playing alongside the child, and then extending the child's learning in that area if it's necessary. Honestly, I think academic success and personal growth go hand in hand throughout education and throughout life, actually. So we definitely try to build the core skills that children need personally to be able to be successful academically. Part of that is critical thinking, communication skills, creative skills. We make sure that they're getting all of those building blocks through the activities in the classroom and getting the academic learning at the same time.
Which really resonates with our own experience as parents, because one of the things that I even noticed with my daughter through her journey in St. Andrews International School in Sathorn has been how she has learned in her confidence, growing with confidence, with happiness to learn, and definitely in an environment where she feels that she belongs to. Seeing her growing within that and going to school with so much joy and happiness, and something that also we see when we do the parent-teacher meeting, that quality of care. And on the quality of care, it also relates to the fact that your school is one of the main pioneers in bringing on and highlighting the importance of culture of care. But let's talk a bit more about this culture of care. What does it mean in practice, and how do you ensure that children feel safe, supported, and also inspire every day?
So for us, a culture of care, it's not just an add-on, it's at the heart of everything that we do here. So as I mentioned before, creating an environment where a child feels a strong sense of belonging comes from how they're greeted in the morning, how they're welcomed into the classroom, how conflicts resolved between peers. All of it is done in a non-judgmental and a kind way. We're all learning, we all make mistakes, and we make sure that the children feel that we're here to support them through everything. It's also part of our, we have safeguarding, we have part of being Cognita is that we get the best safeguarding policies that we can have, and we live and breathe those at school. We have a great safeguarding lead. Health and safety policies are also extremely tight. So that care, our behaviour policy is also something that we look at. So the care that we feel, we put it into writing and we make it part of everyday life here. And we have systems that we follow to ensure that it takes place.
And let's go back to the point of Cognita as well, because St. Andrews, you are part of Cognita, and Cognita is a global network. So how does being part of this international group enhances the learning experience for students and families? Yes, you spoke about child safeguarding as an example or within it. But how does it translate? What it's cognita? How does it work, this global network?
So the main thing that it gives us is a network of experts that can feed their knowledge into the school, which can enhance our practice and enhance the learning for every child. So alongside the safeguarding, the health and safety, and the audits that they run to check that we're doing everything correctly, we also have well-being experts. So we Cognita launched a wellbeing week, a wellbeing day across schools globally. So at the same time across the world, all of the Cognita schools will be focusing on one of the 4 areas of well-being that have been introduced. So we have a charter. So they help direct the school and therefore enhance what the children are learning. And they're at the forefront of all of the most recent research. So they can help drive improvements through our schools in a very caring way. And they are very knowledgeable that every school is unique and every school's different and within its own context. So we have a lot of support from them that ultimately enhances what the children experience at school.
And it's also interesting because a lot of the people that follow Bimbi Italiani, they might be families that are in Italy, going to move outside of Italy, but also a lot of families that move from country to country, right? So
Sure.
also for me as a family, it's interesting to know that sending my daughter to St. Andrews International School in Sathorn in Thailand and having the school being part of a global network in a situation of mobility can assure me, probably also facilitate me this standard of movement to a place or the other. And,
Yeah,
and I
sure.
find this very also valuable. I have a question. We always talk about global network,
Yeah,
but you
sure.
are also part of Bimbi Italiani, which is a global network as well.
Yeah.
So although it's community, right? So a
Yeah.
totally different dimension. And you as Sant'Andrew are a community based school, like the sense of community is very strong for you. So what does this collaboration with us represent to you? And what message, both as a head of school, but also as an educator, would you like to share with Italian and international families that are considering St. Andrews for their children?
So, I mean, obviously, we found out about Bimbi Italiani through you, and I think those personal relationships are really important. And we've watched it grow through hard work, dedication, responsibility. We share the same values, I believe, as Bimbi Italiani. As you mentioned, there's community, identity, belonging. I think it's really important for children to have a grounding in their culture, and I know that you foster that. But you also open your different events to different children, and you're keen to bring communities together. And I think that's something that we really do feel is a benefit to our community to be part of your community, and vice versa. We're really proud of our diverse community, and I think this joining with organizations like Bimbi Italiani can only enhance that, because culture is what you promote and it's what you do. And that inclusivity that you promote is really key, and it's something that I think we're aligned on. So it's a huge privilege to be partnered with you, and we really enjoy supporting you and coming to your events and vice versa. I think for any Italian or international families coming and possibly considering our school, the message would be simple. It would be, we will be a school where your child feels like they belong. They might have moved to various different schools, but they will come here and they will feel like they belong. And I think that, as I mentioned before, I think that's the key for thriving. And for those families that do move around a lot, and for children experiencing their first move away from home, having an understanding setting that can support them through that and support the parents through it is a key to them feeling settled and feeling like they belong.
Absolutely. And what you're mentioning totally resonates with me. And also from my personal experience, the beauty of being in an environment where everyone knows each other, where you can have access to the teacher, to the head of school, because, for those that follow us, it's impressive to have the luxury to go into a school environment where every day in the morning and when you leave the school you can see Miss Helen standing at the entrance and exit and say bye to every child, knowing all of them and their parents by name. And also this sense of community. I personally have been able to also make new friends, connect with other parents and family, and this unity has been a very special and beautiful experience. So I am so glad. I know that throughout this interview, all those that are following us are also seeing some of the videos related to the school, to St. Andrews. If you pass by Bangkok, we invite you to go personally to see it. But for all also the people that are following us online, Miss Helen, how could they find you? If someone is in the US and looking at this interview, where do they go to find St. Andrews Sathorn on the net?
If they just search St. Andrews Sathorn, then they'll drop into our website and they'll be able to find us. But the key is Sathorn because there are several St. Andrews in Bangkok.
Wonderful.
So as long as they say Sathorn, and they'll drop into our website and they can fill out the forms there.
Wonderful. And we will make sure we will share all of the details. With this, I really wish to thank you so much for your time. It's been a beautiful interview. And I see you later today, like every single,
Yep.
single
I'll see you at
day
pickup.
of the week.
Thank you so much, Eleanor. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Same here. And to everyone that is following us, see you next month for another exciting interview of Let's Get to Know Our Partner. Ciao, grazie.
Bye, thank you.
Ben italiani lontani da casa, con la cultura nel cuore si fa strada. L'italiano impariamo tutti insieme, nella classe la